Yes, yeah, I don't understand what the obsession is, man. Like you cannot wait until cannot just subscribe to the channel and follow me.
That's why.
Subscribe, say what?
Sitting right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hello and welcome to the ASRF Nations Cup Asia 2021 Finals. We're so glad to bring you this fantastic event coming at you live from the circuit, the Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. All 7 kilometers of it, and in nice, beautiful, fine weather. I'm your host for this evening, Max Palmer. With me in the studio is Chan Wei Han. Good evening.
Good evening indeed. Yeah, we've had quite a long evening setting up the race, so of course we do apologize to all of you out there who have been anticipating this race. We did have some server hiccups, but everything's good to go now. The drivers are out racing, they've done their practices, they're now doing their qualifying. Of course, these are all the best iRacers in all of Asia, and we're certainly really looking forward to what these drivers have ahead of us. So this is in fact the result of 3 months of hard work and planning, and we're finally ready to present this to all of Asia to enjoy.
Absolutely, we're so glad to have you guys on board with us here on Adrenaline Impact and on several other partners as well throughout the Asia region right now. But so far, right now on track in the qualifying session, we are running a open qualifying session, 20 minutes for the guys to get the best lap time right now. Sakai Natakun John, I believe. He's in first position right now with Joe in second place and Leonardo Oliveira in third position. But I can I mean, just speaking to some of the drivers that we managed to talk to throughout the last 3 months, they've all been looking forward to this, and everyone who's been involved in the organizing committee has been really looking forward to this. This is sort of almost our Olympics in some sense, because we've managed to get drivers, not only drivers, but organizing committees and everything else from all across Asia to bring you this. This is Asian sim racing at its best. And just to come back to that point about the server being a little bit late, well, it's not quite like the Grand Prix though.
Oh yeah, definitely. We still got it going. Didn't rain, and the drivers are still now kind of ready to race. There's no red flag in sim racing. There are only server crashes and internet disconnects.
Absolutely. But as you can see right now, the grid is getting closer and closer as we see there Paragatoi getting into 11th place directly, and it looks like Siddharth named Dirata is up into 8th place. I do apologize if I mispronounce any of these names here, but absolutely fantastic stuff to see there. Of course, being fans of Adrenaline Impact, most of you guys in Malaysia there, you'll be wondering where our boys are. Dominic Ang is in 9th place with Mika Hagidi in 10th position. And so far from the Singaporean side of things, Mitchell Hui is in 7th. He's doing quite well for himself, isn't he?
Yeah, so we might have another repeat of a Malaysia versus Singapore battle that we saw like last year and also this year's National Day Festival. We'll certainly have a lot to see. Of course, we have a huge pedigree driver, Dominic Ang. He is, in fact, he's definitely going to also be popular with the China crowd that are probably tuning in to our friends broadcast over at BBC. Dominic Ang, in fact, is class champion of China GT Series in 2018 and 2019, and he's also been, of course, very much up there in a lot of racing events in Southeast Asia as well as East Asia, and we're just so glad to have him here on the ASRF race event as well. So certainly looking forward to the show that everyone will put up for us. Mitchell Hui in 7th, and exactly right, Siddharth Medidata in 8th position. So personally, I love the paint scheme that Mitchell Hui is running. Very nicely presented Singapore colors with the association logo there always cheers me up.
Absolutely, yep. All the cars out there representing the colors of the nation, and also I have to say every single one of them has been presented beautifully right now. I think these liveries wouldn't look out of place in an actual GT3 race. Come to think of it, yeah.
Yeah, certainly. So it is very much also reminiscent of the FIA motorsport games, where we see kind of nations, racing, representing the nations racing. And I think if we do have a look at Kevin Huang's McLaren, he is using the exact same pace scheme. Kevin Huang is currently right, we caught him at the right point. He's using the Chinese Taipei pace scheme, of course. That is representative of the Chinese Taipei Motorsports Committee that represents racing interests over in Taiwan. So this is him. Of course, we've only got one driver from Taiwan and not two, unfortunately, but it's great to see him racing here as well. That's the actual pace scheme that was being used on the motorsports games, the first motorsports games back in 2019 that was used by, I think it was Hans Lin, the Taiwanese driver, although he was driving a Lamborghini. So of course Kevin is in his favorite McLaren. He's always fast in this machine, and we'd love to see how he's able to perform here tonight.
Absolutely, and it's great to see that there's those few little touches to bring it back to the real world of motorsports there. Of course, we've got a real mix out there right now. We see there Fred Ting and Mazdi Mardini, our friends from Brunei, also out there in 21st and 23rd position. For instance, those guys, I know, big into their sim racing there, but of course, as we mentioned earlier with Dominic Ang, we've got drivers from the real world of motorsports as well, from the Ceylonese, the Sri Lankan contingent, so the Ceylon Motorsports Club there. We've got Brian Pereira as well as Eshan Pieris, who I actually had the pleasure of working with in a very roundabout way, because of course in my day-to-day experiences doing tyre support out there in the real world of motorsports there, we get to meet some of these guys out there in the real world, and I must say it's nice to see some of those names in racing around right now, so it's absolutely fantastic to see there. Of course, It's really quite close up at the front of the field right now. Just bringing ourselves back to the sharp end of the field. Sakai has been knocked off the provisional pole position by Joe in their 2:18.366. That is absolutely flying around the 7-kilometer circuit right now.
Yep, considering that we are now running the hottest track temperature ever at 44 degrees Celsius, 2:18.366 is a very fast lap time for Celsius. So, of course, that is being led by Im Jo-hyuk from Korea. We've got a Thai representation, Sachai Natakunjon in second. He's still currently in second. He's got a 370, so it's a 4,000th of a second difference between first and second place drivers. And of course, Lee Jae-yeon over in third, 2:18.773. Very great to see that. I think a bit of mistake by Sachai Natakunjon, but this is very tight competition. Indeed. Jae-yeon Lee in this Porsche, I think Koreans do. It would appear that the Korean entries here do have a preference towards the Porsche cars. Very great to see. So I think one of those things about racing here at Spa is, yes, we did have a Spa Grand Prix last weekend, which I don't know if it actually did happen.
I don't think they know either.
Yeah, and that bus stop chicane there, I think we're just having a chat with some of the other drivers that that chicane used to be a funny bus stop, but now it's a simple right-left hander, which is much simpler for all the drivers. So certainly, this project, of course, one of the objectives of this project was to bring together the collaborative abilities of all of us involved in developing sim racing in all the different countries, and this means that we do have 6 broadcasts in total. That's taking place for this event. So you are tuning into Adrenaline Impact, which is bringing to you the one of 2 English broadcasts localized to Southeast Asia. We've also got our friends over at BB Race who are offering the Korean commentary. Do check them out on Twitch. We've also got IR Esports from India providing English broadcast localized to India. They're on Facebook Live and I think YouTube as well. We've also got various others. We've got Saigon United Motorsports, which is providing Vietnamese commentary, and they are also live on Facebook and I think YouTube as well. We have, and I think it's very great that we've also got Mandarin broadcasting provided by our friends over in China, provided by Kart Camp, who does organize karting events over in Sichuan. He is soloing this whole broadcast. He's giving commentary for both the race as well as the F1 qualifying during the practice session. So he went live way before we did. So that is the Mandarin stream on Bilibili platform. And last but not least, we've also got a Cantonese broadcast provided by our friends at EPP, and they are live on YouTube and I think Facebook as well.
Yes, and special thanks to all of the broadcasters who are covering this race in all the different languages as well, giving you guys at home the best viewing experience possible. So a special thanks to all the guys there. And like I said, for 3 months worth of work there, and I know quite a few of the guys have been working about 6 months worth of work in 3 months. It's been absolutely amazing to be able to bring all of these guys together. We've had qualifying sessions, we've got selection processes for each region and everything else coming through there. So we really have tried our best to give you the fastest driver from each country within the region through there right now. But the early form book, I must say, is a little bit mixed there. We see Dominic Ang has jumped really high up there. He's managed to get a 2:18.896. But right now it looks like the Koreans might be the pre-event favorites at this moment there. Jo-hyuk in first position with Sakai Natakunjon in second place and Lee Jae-yeon in third place there. So it looks like a battle between the Thais and the Koreans there, but it looks like the Malaysians are slowly going up there. Villa Bahar of Indonesia as well, another driver to have a look out there. He's going strong in 10th position for the Indonesians with Reynaldi Edo, one of his teammates there. Yuan Xilin in 8th place, also from China. We have Leonardo Oliveira, as we mentioned before. He's from Macau with Samuel Chiang in 9th place there. And I'll see if I can find any of the other drivers there. From the island of Réunion, we do have Thomas Ferry, of course, nominally French, but He's from the island of Réunion there. And we have Kevin Huang, as we mentioned there, from Chinese Taipei, with Lei Longvin and Tommy Mai from, I do believe that is Vietnam.
Yep, Vietnam, that's right.
Yeah, and of course we've got quite a few of the other drivers coming through as well. So we've really got a very international race coming towards here. 17 minutes have passed in the qualifying session there. Im Jo-hook is currently the provisional pole position man. The time is still set at 2:18.366.
So we are 2 minutes towards the end of the qualifying position. Oh, that is Dominic Ang, who's... Oh no, sorry, I scrolled my window down, but Im Jo-hook still in pole position. I think that driver, that guy, as well as Sachai Natakunjon, both of them are just untouchable. So it's probably going to be a battle between them both. Unfortunately, we would have loved to see our Japanese entrants enter today because they have also qualified extremely well. They were top on the rest of Asia qualifiers list. It's sad to see that they are unfortunately not able to make it to our race today. But it would have been nice to of course, have to enjoy their presence as well in this race. But the show still goes on. Still have a lot of other drivers, 29 strong in total, which is kind of around what we have expected for this event. A healthy number, in fact. Maximum of 2 representatives from each country or territory. Of course, that does also mean that you've got 2 from all of Middle East as well as Africa, which is being represented by Thomas Ferry and our friend in Egypt, Haytham Abdelkader, who is currently probably still out on track. I think he's currently qualified in down in 29th position.
Indeed, right now, Mohammed Zihni, there he is, another one of the Singaporean drivers, and he's going to start a lap there. Let's see if we can sneak on board and see this fantastic track in its full. Coming down to La Source there, it's absolutely critical to try and get the braking just right before going through the apex there. He's beautiful on the throttle there and using all of the curb and then some. That is the quickest way through La Source there. Now coming up towards the legendary Eau Rouge corner. Now, contrary to popular belief, Eau Rouge is only this left-hander. Radion is the crest over the top there, and you've got to use all of that curb in a GT3 car in order to be quick. Coming on to now the Camel Straight, and this is going to be a fantastic overtaking opportunity for a lot of the drivers there. In fact, the biggest overtaking opportunity coming into the braking zone here for Lecom. Very, very tricky section here. It's all about getting the balance just right around this section there. And ooh, it looks like he's unable to continue that lap. He's going to try once more. Meanwhile, that's Kevin Huang there going through through Radion and going on to the Camel Straight. We'll see if he'll complete the lap this time around. Doing about 255 kilometers an hour coming into the braking zone there, and unfortunately we're out of time. So unfortunately we couldn't quite give you the full tour of the track in time there, but it's Im Jo-hook in pole position with Sakai Natakunjon in second place, Lee Jae-yeon in third, with Dominic Ang in fourth, Leonardo Oliveira in fifth, Yuan Silin in sixth place, Nicholas Fenier is in seventh, followed by Mika Hakimi, Samuel Cheng, Avila Bahar, Mitchell Hui, and Pariwat Toi.
So further down the list, we have Siddharth Mediratha from India, Daryl Brady from the Philippines, Derek Lee from Hong Kong, Thomas Ferry from the island of La Réunion, of course flying the French flag, Rinaldi Ido from Indonesia, Fandok from China, Aman Nagdev from India, Oliver Aquino from Philippines, Kevin Huang from Taiwan, Mohammed Zini from Singapore, Brian Pereira from Sri Lanka, Long Love from Vietnam. And we've also got the remaining drivers around all your grid. Tommy Mai from Vietnam, Fred Ting from Brunei, Masdi Madini from Brunei as well, Ishan Pieris from Sri Lanka, and Haytham Abdelkader from Egypt.
It doesn't get any more expansive than that. Well, from my understanding, we're going to have a short run up to the line. There's going to be a rolling start, and the drivers are going to be behind the safety car. Now, we did manage to talk to race direction, and they're going to get the guys to go to the control line, warming up the tires and doing the rest of that. But after the control line, which is just before the bus stop chicane, which is the final two corners of the lap, they're going to assume the position, and we're going to have an American style rolling start coming towards turn one there. I predict we're going to see a lot of fireworks coming down to turn one.
Okay. Yep. Certainly. We're definitely gonna expect quite a lot to happen. Off the back of the Spa Grand Prix. And I think it's something that we could probably expect. So the drivers are of course doing a shorter pace lap, so it's only through the sectors of Blanchimont and as well as the final chicane, and instead of the whole track. You know, if you're doing the whole track, you'll have no time to race.
Indeed, we will. Now coming around Blanchimont, one of the hardest corners to get right in these GT3 cars, and coming towards another one of our places to watch when it comes to battling and overtaking, which is the braking zone into the bus stop chicane. Of course, now known as Campus, it is a little bit further away from the original bus stop that used to be on this track, because you have to remember this track used to be a public road, and what a road it is. Now it looks like Im Jo Hook is going to go off the front of the field there, and it looks like we've got a nice clean start coming across the line there. Im Jo Hook coming up into first place, a brilliant start from him, with Sakai Natagun John coming into second place there. It looks like there's a bit of swapping around there further down the field there. It looks like one of the Singaporean drivers managed to gain a position, but it looks like for once a clean run through the first corner there. Brilliant stuff there. We still see cars going 2 wide, 3 wide. Let's see how they go through Eau Rouge and Radion. Alman Nagdev is the guy we're looking through now. We're going to have a look at Lee Jaeon coming down the Camel Straight into the braking zone there, and it looks like we've got a fantastic start to the race right now. Im Jo Hook is still in first position with Sachai and Natakunjon in second place, and Lee Jae-hon in third, with Dominic Ang in fourth place, Leonardo Oliveira in fifth, Yuan Chi Lin in sixth place, and Mika Hakimi in seventh, with Avila Bahar in eighth, Pariwat Toy in ninth, and Nicholas Fanier in 10th position. Brilliant start there, have to admit. GT cars coming into La Source always makes me a little bit nervous, but that was a very professional start to the race.
So no position changes in the top 6, but of course I think some incidents that have happened resulting in some position changes towards the midfield and towards the back. So this is the battle between Mika Hakimi and Yuan Xilin, so we'd like to see how this battle will pan out. They make their way into Campus, rather the S's corners. So this is down into Campus. He will then make his way into Stabler, which will come right ahead. The gap between them sits at around 0.2 of a second, so it is very close indeed, within attacking distance. So on to the almost flat out right-hander. Now of course with the new track limit guidelines on iRacing, you can use a bit more runoff on the outside without scoring a 1x. So full throttle around this section. Mika Hakimi continues to trail UNC, and this will continue to ensue. So it is quite a stable train that is up front. Very fast drivers up the pointy end of the field, and they are fighting out there very well. And they're breaking into the bus stop chicane. Mika Hakimi down along the inside, UNC along the outside. Is UNC going to be able to defend his position? It would seem so. He edges out Mika Hakimi and continues to hold on to P6 as they complete another lap here at Spa.
Brilliant driving from both drivers there. Just enough space given and not a single inch more. Pariwat Tui there right now coming in 9th position. He's following behind Avila Bahar of Indonesia right now in 8th place, and he's going to be trying to look for an opportunity to slipstream to try and get a little bit closer to the car up ahead, if not try and overtake him. He's done plenty of overtaking right now. He's gained 3 positions since the start of the race, which is very interesting stuff indeed. Remember, this is a 15-lap heat before the final 40-minute race to come. So these guys are really going to push as hard as they can in order to try and gain as many positions as possible. Pariwat Toy there in 9th position. Beautiful around the Lecombe section. Now coming down to the Brussels hairpin and into the corner they call No Name. A corner with, ironically, many names. It's known as Signal in Belgium, but the English-speaking world refers to it as No Name. Again, one of the unique things about Spa is that all these corners have stories behind them and different names depending on what your experience is. Going through Pouhon there, a little bit of a lockup from one of the drivers further up the road there. But meanwhile, we're going to have a look at Derek Lee, who's putting a lot of pressure on Kevin Huang coming through the Pouhon section there. Again, super critical. The trick around here, as I was taught by one of the Spa veterans, is to keep your steering wheel at a constant angle throughout the entire corner, which is a very frightening thing to do there. Now this is, as they call it in Belgium, Fagnes chicane, otherwise known as Piff Paff. For some of the English drivers there, they gave that the nickname of Piff Paff because if you don't quite get the line right, you do end up facing the way you come through. Now going through curve, Paul Ferrer and into Blanchimont there. Looks like Derek Lee is putting a lot of pressure there, but Kevin Huang's putting more pressure on Tommy Mai up in 19th position. He's going to try and go around the outside and into the inside there. It is as close as they can go, but Derek Lee's going to go around the outside there, coming into the braking zone, and it looks like Derek Lee's managed to get one position. Will he get another position there? He isn't able to do so, but what a drive by Derek Lee there. Hard on the brakes into the bus stop chicane, and he's managed to get himself one more place. Now the hunt is on to get up to Tommy Mai.
That was a close battle indeed, and they round out the last sauce again. And of course, this going a little bit wide does go that Lamborghini there. Great battling, great stuff. Although my iRacing feed does show me on board Parawat Chukan by focusing on the actual battling here, which is between Avila Baja and I think
that's
Parawat Chukan. Yeah. Oh, that was a close contact, alright. And fortunately, Avila did not lose control of his car. He still kept his car on all fours as he unfortunately came to contact with another car just now. He continues to hold on to 9th position. Now remember that after this 15-minute race, we will have another 40-minute long race where drivers will have another opportunity at battling once again. So the points will work this way, so you'll get half the amount of points in this race, and then you get another full amount of points in the next race, and the ratio will be 1-2 this session and the feature race, and the winner will be the driver with the most points out of this arrangement. So certainly later on, the driver who finishes this heat race in 8th position will start race 2 from pole position. This is Mika Hakimi. He made a slight bit of mistake just now. He continues to sit in 8th position and giving Parawat Chukan quite a lot of pressure, alright? And he is certainly having a good time doing so.
Indeed, Mika Hakimi, incidentally, he's going to be on pole position if the results stand this way, but of course, he's not interested in where he's going to start that long distance race that's going to happen right after this. He is interested in the points, but so is Parawat Chukan. They're up ahead. They're going to be pushing quite hard indeed. Avila Baha and Nicolas Fener, as you remember, they had that little coming together up at the top half of the circuit there. We're riding on board with Nicolas Fener coming into the braking zone here, and it looks like the traditional midfield battle is starting to warm up pretty nicely here. 6 cars in the middle of the field. I always used to say it's the Adrenaline Impact midfield battle, but I think it's safe to say that it might just be the ASRF midfield battle this time around. And things are definitely hotting up here. Of course, this track it's so important to try and master slipstreaming and drafting because of what's going to happen after this spectacular Eau Rouge section there. Nicolas Fener, he is got a lot of pressure from Samuel Chang behind him. In fact, he's managed to get the draft and he's managed to get the slingshot coming into the braking zone here. Let's see if he can get into the position there. Samuel Chang moves across to try and defend from Nicolas Fener, and that is a smooth overtaking maneuver there from the Macau driver. He manages to bring himself up into 10th position. What a brilliant overtaking maneuver there. Textbook Camel Straight drafting.
Yeah, it's the one that Camel Straight holds a lot of surprises, you know, from both the perspective of drivers as well as spectators. alike. We continue to observe more battles. This is Yuan Xilin. Once again, he's currently still in 6th position where he started from. So Yuan Xilin, in fact, is among the masterminds of this race format as well as the various settings. He is one hell of a fast driver, right? 5,394 I rating, second highest, just behind Im Joo-hyuk with 6,037 I rating. And it leaves to be seen what UNC can do to these other drivers up here. He's in his spanking iRacing China blue paint scheme. So a very popular color in the iRacing China community is blue, and that is the case with this paint scheme. Now, of course, this project is proudly brought to you by Next Level Racing. So, of course, the race winners here will be presented with a GT track cockpit by Next Level Racing. Second place driver will get an FGT Lite cockpit, and a third place driver will walk away with a GT Lite cockpit. We've also got a lucky draw prize, a random prize, which is also another GT Lite rig, which will be given to a driver who did participate in any of the regional or national qualifiers but did not make it to this race. So that was in fact to very much encourage drivers to just give this event a go, and it kind of it allows us to remain steadfast to our commitment that everyone will have, there's something for everyone.
Unfortunately, if it wasn't for the fact that I was on commentary duty for the final there, I could have probably entered just for that chance to win that lucky draw prize. It's really interesting. Just quietly, Oliver Aquino there, getting a little bit close to the back of Mohammedini there in 16th and 17th positions. Every single position right now, we can see from the leaderboards there, they're getting closer and closer to each other right now. Of course, the drivers who have their interval times in yellow are drivers we consider to be very close to each other, and if they're in orange, they're considered to be what we call into the battle zone. That means they're close enough to try and overtake. And one driver who is trying to overtake, that is Kevin Huang, managed to try and go around the outside of Mazdi Mardini, and he manages to do it. Kevin Huang manages to gain one more position to get himself up into 21st place. Meanwhile, Fred Ting and Mazdi Mardini, they're pushing as hard as they can to try and keep themselves up into the position. And there's a bit of a lock-up with the car in the front there. He had to slow down quite a bit, and it looks like Fred Ting's lost out there. And it looks like our friend Haitam Abdelkader from Egypt has managed to get himself a position up there. Absolutely fantastic stuff there from Haitam, who's managed to get himself up briefly there, but it looks like Reynaldi Edo is the winner out of that slight snafu coming to the Brussels hairpin. Again, a very, very deceptive corner. Watching on the TV screens there, you don't realize how much of a downhill slope you're coming into that corner. You have to brake real early. You've got to turn in real early in order to try and get a quick lap time through there.
It's very great to see the Simsa driver with us. So of course Simsa has been friends with the community for a very long time. White flag this time by as we ride on board. Oh, it looks like Lee Jae-yeon unfortunately had to go into the pits. He was fighting a very strong third position just now, but this is him. He just kind of had to make that pit maneuver. So that does kind of allow the rest of the drivers behind him to gain a position. Im Joo-hyuk continues to lead the race as usual, 6,000 I rating. He leads Sachai Natakunjoa, and Sachai is also in front of Leonardo Oliveira. So we have a Korea, Thailand, and Macau 1, 2, 3 at this point.
And from my understanding there, yes, it looks like the top 5 is currently being run by 5 drivers from 5 different nationalities, and it wouldn't surprise me if they were in 5 different vehicles right now. Yachilin there in the Mercedes, he's chasing after Dominic Ang in the BMW, and it looks like Leonardo Oliveira is in the Lamborghini. I do apologize, the top two cars right now here at Spa are in Porsches, and it looks like Im Joo-hyuk has the slimmest of margins. 1 second separates him and Sachai Natakunjoon in first and second places. This is the final lap of the race there. 13 minutes have passed in the race. Meanwhile, Yuan Xilin, they're very close. It looks like he might actually be able to try and catch up with the back of Dominic Ang, who's also catching up real quick to Leonardo Oliveira right now. This might be the battle that's going to sort themselves out through the final corners there. It looks like it's going to be a very close race. It's absolutely exciting. You gotta love sprint races, haven't you?
Absolutely. So of course this is in fact a white flag, so they are going to fight to the finish. And if this does continue, it will mean that Avila Baja will probably have the opportunity to start from pole position. So the battle right here at this point for P8 is also a very contentious one because it is going to be a top 8 reverse grid. So we will of course observe these cars as they make their way to the finish. But it is going to be Im Jo-hyuk of Korea, who will come across the final chicane. He leads Sacha Natakunjo by a small margin. So Im Jo-hyuk comes across the start-finish line and wins the Heat 1 here at Spa. Then Sacha Natakunjo comes home in second. Leonardo Oliveira in third. Oh, there is a huge contact in the background. No idea what happened. Of course, protests are open to the drivers, so the results tentatively will be Leonardo Oliveira coming home in third, Dominic Ang in fourth, Yuan Sidin in fifth, Pariwat Chukan in sixth, Mika Hakimi in seventh, and I think the positions are kind of jumbled up.
Yeah, it looks like Samuel Cheng was in 8th position there. We're not too sure what happened with Avila Baha or Fandog there. On my screen right now, Fandog is off the track at the moment, but he will come across the line soonest. But that was a spectacular end to the lap there. I believe that might have been for the pole position, the reverse grid pole battle coming up towards there. Now we're going to have a quick warm-up. But coming into this, it looks like, well, the initial form book of the Koreans and the Thais being right up at the sharp end of the field, well, that's still true. It looks like the drivers from Malaysia and Macau are the drivers from Malaysia and Macau are really coming on strong. In the meantime, we've got all of the final round prizes by Next Level Racing. As we can see there, the prizes for first place, second place, and third place. But of course, what you guys want to know is there were hundreds of drivers who participated, and not all of them were able to qualify for the finals. All of those drivers have been put into this massive list for the lucky draw, and the final Next Level Racing Sim rig goes to Pagvinder Singh. Congratulations there to Pagvinder Singh for that beautiful win for the Next Level Racing GT Light rig. Hope you enjoy that. It's a beautiful, beautiful rig, isn't it?
Oh, oh yeah, it absolutely is. All right. So certainly hope that he will enjoy his prize. Definitely arrangements will be made. Very much huge thank you to also everyone who's participated in all the qualifiers. You guys make this event a success. And now we're looping the wheel spin again. Yeah, so fun fact, we actually ran the wheel spin like earlier today and we kept the name a surprise to Max.
Indeed. Well, yes, because I had to call that out there, so I had to I had to make sure it was in fact a surprise. But in the meantime, right now it's warm up for in some ways the main event, the 40-minute race there, the classic iRacing GT3 battle out there. And I know it's going to be too close to really have any sort of ideas who's going to win. But do you want to hazard a guess as to who you think is going to be on the top step of the podium at the end of this race?
Well, having a look at the way things are, I am very confident that Im Jo-hyuk will still, be up there because he is fighting very, very well. I think we might, we're just having a look at some of the cars that are out on their warm-up lap. So this is a short warm-up session.
Yeah, it's not going to be going all his way, that's for sure. He's going to have to drive out of his skin to keep himself ahead of the other drivers. And of course, with 6K iRacing, well, that's not just good for Asia, that's good worldwide in terms of ranking and in terms of iRating there. So that just goes to show how tight the competition is throughout the course of the race there. And I don't think we could have asked for any more. I mean, come on, GT3 cars around Spa, with close racing. I don't think any of the drivers were any more than about a couple of seconds apart from each other there, and virtually everyone was trying to look for an opportunity to overtake. But of course, the sprint race also gives you something that you can't quite get in any practice or qualifying session. That is the opportunity to almost practice racing with the other drivers that's going to be around you. So it's going to be interesting to see now that they've seen what sort of tactics, what sort of driving styles is around them during the course of the race. It'll be interesting to see how they manage throughout the course of the longer race. Will they be able to use any of that information? Will they be able to read the other drivers now that they've had a little bit of a taste of what's to come?
Absolutely. So I think if we do have an opportunity to go on a short ad break, hopefully we do. Of course, we are coming towards the end of this warm up. Very much a thank you to Next Level Racing again for backing this project. We're very grateful of what they have supported for us.
Indeed, and a very, very special thanks to all of the members of the ASRF, the Asian Sim Racing Federation. Without their tireless work throughout the course of these last 3 months, this event would not have been able to happen. So it's a very special thank you to each and every one of the members in the community there to help bring this together. And a special thanks to all the drivers out there who have really been pushing hard to try and give us a good show. And of course, as always, thanks to you guys at home watching us blather on in the studio and try and bring you this fantastic racing that we're going to see there. So a very special thanks to all for this race. May this be the first of many successful events from the ASRF.
So we are advancing to the next session. Oops, I think I pressed something on my keyboard.
In any case, it looks like it's Samuel Cheng of Macau in pole position for the final race of this evening. Mika Hakimi is in second place for Malaysia. Pariwat Chukantoi there in third for Thailand, with Yuan Shilin fourth place for China. Dominic Ang is in fifth, followed by Leonardo Oliveira. Sachai Natakunjon in seventh place there. Im Jo-hook is in 8th position. He won the sprint race there, but because of the reverse grid, he's down in 8th. Siddharth Meditaraya in 9th position, with Nicholas Fener in 10th, Daryl Brady in 11th, and Fan Dog in 12th position.
So the rest of the field is pretty much based off of the finishing positions of the cars earlier on. Aman Nagdev 13th, Mohamed Zini in 14th, Brian Pereira in 15th, Oliver Kino begins 16th, Derek Lee 17th, Lee Jaeon 18th, Tommy Mai 19th, Kevin Huang 20th, Rinaldi Ido in 21st, Masdi Mardini in 22nd, Fred Ting 23rd, Haitham Abdul Kader in 24th. We've also got Long Le in 25th, Thomas Ferry 26th, Mitchell Wee 27th, Ishan Pieris in 28th, and Derek Lee, who is assigned to 29th.
So there we have it. The car's going to rumble around the famous Blanchimont curve one more time before coming down into the braking zone underneath the Bridgestone banner there. You're braking around here, and that's where the control line is. You can see there that white line means the drivers have to stop warming up their tires and get ready for the race. Samuel Cheng, the nerves are building. You can see there Mika Hakimi is also trying to get as close as possible. We are about to go green right now. We are hard on the throttle, and away we go. Coming down into turn one then, it looks like Mika Hakimi they're going to go 3 wide going into the first corner there. Again, Lassour's very tricky corner there to try and get through, but it looks like they've managed to keep themselves going through there, and it looks like Mika Hakimi has managed to cover off Pariwat Chukan in second place, but Samuel Cheng has managed to keep himself up into first position as they go through Blanchimont and up Radion and onto the Camel Straight there. You can see all the drivers there, a couple of cars going a little bit wide through Radion. Very scary situation there, and they're going 2 wide, 3 wide. Do I see 4 wide going down into the braking zone here? And it looks like Samuel Cheng's going to try and defend from Mika Hakimi. He manages to keep first place with Mika Hakimi in second. No, Samuel Cheng, there's been contact, and there's another contact there it's all gone wrong. They're going into sector 2. It's all gone wrong going through Lecom. for a lot of the drivers there. Their drivers going all over the place there. There's Mehdi Rata has gone off the track there. Quite a few other drivers have gone off the track there, and they've called a safety car period there. Full course yellow now descends on the track. What a spectacular run there. 3 wide going down the coming straight into the braking zone. Wow, I was on the edge of my seat. I don't know about you.
Well, that was an interesting race start, all right. I think, some remarks by drivers is that they're probably not expecting that they're suddenly transitioning into a 40-minute long race. And of course, when you have a 15-minute long race, you have a quick splash and dash, or rather, quick, do it quick strategy. They've also got a 40-minute long race where it's all about patience. So let's see how this came to be. So unfortunately, some contact in front there. The Korean car came into contact with another Porsche and it slammed to the left or the right of the BMW and tried to rejoin the track, and that kind of sparked a lot of contacts that came afterwards, and that in fact warranted the safety car. So of course, driver safety is still very important.
Absolutely, and your heart has to go up for Sam Chiang there, who's now in 25th position. He was at the lead of the race there. Unfortunately, he lost it at Lacombe. Such an easy mistake to make. I know it looks like a very simple set of corners there, but it is actually one of the hardest series of corners to get right around here. And of course, with cold tires, all throughout the grid there, it's very tricky situation indeed. But Mika Hakimi, now he's in first position as he leads the field around for the full course caution. Yellow flags are out all throughout the track there, no overtaking, and they're going to pace themselves behind the leader, Mika Hakimi, right now. Pariwat Chukan there in second place, Yon Lin in third position. It's been a fantastic start there from Yon Lin. Dominic Ang in fourth position with Leonardo Oliveira in fifth, Sachai Natakunjon in sixth position, Aman Nagdev in seventh, Adok in eighth, Mohamed Zini in ninth, and Brian Pereira in 10th position. And it's been all action right now. I can't wait to see how these guys are going to get on at the resumption of activities. But of course, we've got to make sure the coast is clear and the track is safe to race before we continue. But wow, we couldn't have started the feature race any more dramatically if we tried.
Yep, that was a surprising race start indeed, and I'm not too sure if that's going to be a... Well, I mean, I think if you look at it this way, we had a very nice Heat 1 race, and that was, I think, quite good for the drivers. Mika Hakimi is in the race lead, and of course, there are no more reverse driver inverting grids, so this will be the fight to the finish.
Indeed, and with the unfortunate situation that Im got himself into right now, the top Korean driver there is Lee Jae-yeon in 20th position, but it's now really turned the race on its head right now, because I mean, we were talking about form books and about who was going to be the quickest driver coming through there. I'm not too sure if we expected Mika Hakimi to be in provisional pole position. Talented as he is, he definitely has the talent to try and win this race there. But right now, the form book's just gone out the window. I personally am not too sure who is going to come out on top out of the top 5 drivers we see there, because every single one of them has a chance of winning. And to be honest with you, there's quite a few names there further down the leaderboard that could also be in a position to gain big time. So it's really turned the complexion of the race on its head right now.
Oh, it certainly has. So, of course, the drivers are on a pace lap. So, unfortunately, because of the length of this circuit, the pace lap will be quite long. So that will take away quite a portion of the race time. But not to worry, we will go back to racing. There will be no more yellow flags left in this race. Sim Racers Asia practice, just throw one yellow flag when when the going gets quite rough, and we leave the rest to the field to decide. Yeah, so of course Mika came in currently leading. Pariwat Chuka in second, and you can see Lin in third.
Going through the Fanyas chicane there, and again, this shot is brilliant because it shows how much elevation change is on the track there. We always think of this series, this left-right section as being flat, but it really isn't. You're actually climbing up towards Fanyas and climbing further on towards Stavilo. And this track is such a three-dimensional circuit to try and get right. But they have it. There's some unique camera shots being shown off there by our director for Adrenaline Impact for our English broadcast there, Carol Allen, showing off his chops there just a little bit. Special thanks to him. He's been a huge help in setting up the stream and helping us out in the ASRF and getting all the broadcast details just right. Along with all of our other members as well. It's been a great collaborative effort from all the guys from the technical side of things.
Drivers running out another lap around Spa. I wonder if this is going to be, wonder if the drivers will, if this will be the last pace lap or if there will be another one. We'll have to see the safety car lights and look at the flames coming out of the McLaren. Always very interesting thing to see, and I think apparently this is the case in real life with the McLaren.
Indeed, the McLaren's got a fantastic form of anti-lag there that just spits out flames like you wouldn't believe. For those of you who are wondering, there is a reason as to why the McLaren spits out flames that long, not just for drama, but also because there's a system on a lot of race cars, especially turbocharged race cars like the McLaren, called anti-lag, and that's when you lift off the throttle. On a normal turbocharged engine, when you lift off the throttle and get back on the throttle, it takes a little while for the turbos to spool up. So what these guys do is they pump a little bit of extra fuel through the engine and what we call retard the ignition, set the ignition early compared to what it normally is, and that sets off the fuel that's in the exhaust system, burns the fuel up, spins the turbochargers up almost like turbines on a jet engine. And the byproduct of which are these fantastic flames that come out of the exhaust. Came from WRC, but we see it a lot in Super GT and, of course, in GT3 with the McLaren. Just a little nice bit of showmanship touch there.
Yep, so of course, the incident that started the race, not exactly the most pleasant, but I think most of the drivers are still intact. They are still racing. That is going to be another lap around Spa, so I hope the safety car goes back in now. The lights are still on, so I'm not exactly certain of what this is going to mean, but I do hope they will finish the pace lap quite soon.
Indeed, I do believe around this track it'll be around Puon or Fanyas, so around the start of Sector 2, where we'll have a look at those lights and see if they go off, I believe, if not at Blanchimont itself. But yeah, it's a very long lap, but they do have to abide by the regulations there. But of course, this has given a massive, massive relief to a lot of the drivers out there because, of course, when it comes to these 40-minute races, you are talking about fuel loads and fuel strategies and who's going to be running light and who's going to be running heavy. A lot of the guys who are running with less fuel right now are really relieved, right? Because they are using a lot less fuel behind the safety car compared to when they are racing at full speed. So this is going to open up a lot more strategic decisions and a lot more of the strategy and stuff like that. It's just gone out the window. They're going to have to think about it, but there's going to be opportunities for all these drivers coming up. Ten minutes have passed in the race out of a 40-minute race there. We've got half an hour of racing left on the clock still to go. We should be going fairly soon right now. I believe we'll have a look again at Blanchimont to see if the lights go off there. A lot of the safety car procedure has to do with making sure the drivers are grouped together correctly. So if the drivers aren't quite in position, they won't be able to start the race. Of course, these guys, they know what they're doing. They're going to try and keep that group as tight as possible. You can see there on the mini-map how close they are to each other there. So I believe at the end of this lap, we should have a resumption of racing. Here's hoping.
So the lights on the safety car has been turned off, and that will mean that the drivers will proceed for a green flag run. um, at the end of this time. Oh, oh no, the light's still on. Must be
Yeah,
the graphics thing.
I had to sort of zoom in a little bit there, but it is staying on a little bit long there. Let's see if they come off anytime soon. It looks like he might. If we have to do another lap around the circuit, it will be a bit of a shame there. Of course, we can't wait to get back up and running again, but it looks like yes,
Oh
we're
no.
going to have to do one more lap of the circuit. Still, we had more racing than the Formula One race. Look on the bright side, folks. And the safety lights have gone off immediately after crossing the start finish line, so we will have a resumption of racing after this lap, at the end of this lap. So the drivers are now going to be focusing on trying to get some heat into the tires, heat into the brakes, get some energy into those tires, and try and make sure they're ready to go. But it looks like there's going to be one more lap before the restart of the race. There, 4 laps have gone. 12 minutes have gone in this 40-minute race there. Just to refresh any of you guys who've just joined us, Mika Hakimi is in first position under safety car conditions right now. But Mika Hakimi is in first with Pariwacho Kantoi in second place. Yuan Chilin in third with Sakai. Natakun John in fourth position. Aman Navdev in fifth. Fandog in sixth position. Mohamed Zini in seventh. Brian Pereira in eighth. Rinaldo Edo in ninth. And Tommy Mai in 10th.
Here come the drivers again for another pace lap. So, I think you certainly wouldn't want to be behind the wheel at this point. I think because usually with these pace cars, of course, they have like NASCAR oval racing in mind, where one pace lap isn't exactly that long, but one pace lap around Spa is long, all right. So that was, I think, probably more than 10 minutes spent behind the safety car. So because of that, there will not be any more yellow flags throughout the race.
So Abdul Muiz Hakimi there in our chat box. It's still nice that Russell got P2 in the F1 race. Yep. So he's going to head off to bed now, and we are going to carry on having fun. Meanwhile, we've got a couple of other guys there. Yes, he had to head off into the pits there. I think he may have got some damage in the melee at the start of the race there. For those of you who aren't quite sure what's happened with the running order right now, there's a lot of drivers who ended up in an incident at the top of Kemmel Strait there, coming through the Lekon complex. We've got a couple of Sri Lanka fans there. I do apologize if I mispronounce the names here, but Sachitana and Jordan Fernando, I can pronounce that one. They say go Sri Lanka. I believe Brian Pereira is up there in 8th position there, really in a position to try and capitalize. And of course, as Chan Wei-han there has mentioned, it's a 2-for-1 deal. When it comes to the points position, they score half points in the sprint race, and of course they've got double points here in the feature. So the total cumulative of those two results are going to determine who is going to win the event overall. But right now it's interesting to see quite a few of the drivers there getting themselves into position. The safety car lights are definitely off at this point. They're going to head, so that Porsche is going to head into the pits, and we'll be on our way any moment now.
Drivers making their way around the final few sections of the circuit. So safety car should be heading in quite soon around the final chicane.
And there you have it. The Porsche 911 GT3 Cup safety car is into the pit lane right now, and we're ready to go. It looks like Mika Hakimi has managed to have a fantastic start coming across the line there, and it's go for Mika Hakimi there, and Pariwachukan comes in second place, but he's in the battle right now with Yuan Chi Lin, and quite a few of the drivers now are going too wide, and there's an accident at the start of the race there at La Source, and it looks like that's Mohamed Zini and another vehicle there involved in that incident there. Mohamed Zini has managed to get himself back into the race there. The car doesn't look too damaged, but we're not too sure what happened there. Well, Yuan Chi Lin is right now in third position. He's trying to gain some positions there, but it looks like the Porsche behind him of Natagunjon is going to try and overtake around the outside there, but Yuan Chi Lin manages to defend, keeping himself up into third position there. It's all happening right now. Mika Hakimi in first, Pariwat Chukat in second, and Yuan Chi Lin in third position. All the drivers now pushing as hard as they can. They know they've got the excess fuel. They know they've got the excess tire wear. Right now, this feature race has just turned into a sprint.
Oh, it sure is. So, unfortunately, good segment of this race taken out. So, we've kind of missed the element of a short and then a relatively long race. But we still get good racing action nonetheless. And of course, for these drivers, it's all about pushing as hard as they can for the next 20 plus minutes around Spa. Sajai Natakunjon currently sits in fourth position. He sits behind Yuan Chi Lin. They go side by side into the S's. Of course, Sajai tries to try to make the overtaking move, while Yuan Chi continues to hold third place. They're battling very closely together. Gap between them sits at, wow, I think 0.2 of a second, so that is very close indeed. And they make their way around the Paul Frere corner, and of course with new updates you can make good use of the runoff of this track. Rinaldi Ido in 7th, he's making a move on Fandog in 6th position, and they are going to go side by side into Blanchimont, and these I guess these benign left-handers where you can get away with full throttle in, especially with the recent updates. And that is going to be the Porsche of Daryl Brady. He attempted to make an overtaking move, but the battle still continues. Oh, a bit of mistake by Fandog. Still in 6th. He's going to probably. Oh, someone's had a contact behind.
Yeah, we're not too sure what happened there, but it looks like Rinaldi Ido. He's going to try and go for that overtaking maneuver there. And he manages to just about try and keep his car on the inside, if not overtake there. They're still going side by side there. This overtaking maneuver hasn't quite panned out there for Rinaldi Ido, and it looks like he's managed to just about get ahead, keep himself ahead of Brady there, but he's going to have to wait until the Kemmel Straight in order to try and overtake Van Dog there. But it looks like Daryl Brady is going to try and overtake Rinaldi Ido, and he's going to succeed in doing that coming into the braking zone here. But will Rinaldi be able to take back that position? No, he won't. That is Daryl Brady up into 7th position right now, and the chase is on for both drivers to try and catch up to Fan Dog there up in 6th place. Fantastic battling going around right now. They're still going side by side. This is not over yet by any stretch of the imagination. How close can you get without touching another car? They seem determined to find out, haven't they?
Yeah, Daryl Brady trying to push as hard as possible on Fandog, and also coming under a bit of pressure from Rinaldi Ido in 8th position. So this is a very tight battle that is taking place. Both of them are bumper to bumper. This is Daryl Brady versus Rinaldi Ido. They are very close with each other, and wow, these two drivers are really, really good. Of course, you kind of have the fastest in each country, and very much the case with these two drivers. They are fighting very hard indeed. And the battle, the great thing about this is the battle is not just his, also the same throughout various points in the field. This one between Avila Baja and Tommy Mai, BMW versus Lamborghini, and this is another feisty battle that is shaping up.
Indeed, Avila Baja there, looks like he's got a slipstream going there. He's going to try and go around the outside of Tommy Mai there from Vietnam, around the outside of Blanchimont, not quite able to keep the car on the track there, but Avila Baja, ooh, it looks like there was a couple of cars there that got off behind Avila Baja. We would like to see a replay from that, but it looks like there was either a coming together or they perhaps just ran a little bit too hot going through Blanchimont there. a very narrow piece of track. You're surprised to see how narrow it is. We're looking from the vantage of Tommy Mai in this, the Adrenaline Impact replay going around this corner there. It looks like Tommy Mai lost it on the curb, it appears to be. Not too sure if there's any contact there, but he did lose it through the curb there going through Blanchimont. A scary place to have an accident.
Yeah, that was scary stuff indeed. Certainly not one of those places where you want to lose control of your car. And the thing with racing, oh, that's an overtaking move by Dominic Ang on Samuel Cheng. So both drivers, I think they battled earlier on in the race. They are continuing to battle now at this point in the field. That is Michelle Wee in 18th position, which is being overtaken by Dominic Ang. So Malaysia, Singapore going side by side. Hong Kong, Macau also going side by side. This is a very feisty battle. 5-car battle pack at this point, currently being led by Dominic Ang, and he leads the rest of the drivers into the Lacombe chicane. So I think Mitchell going a little bit trippy over the curbs. Dominic continues to pull. He pulls ahead. He breaks away from this field. Very great driving there.
Indeed, Dominic Ang, absolutely a driver with the pace to really push himself up the leaderboard there. It looks like he's fighting his way from the back of the field to the front there, but he is leaving behind an incredible battle. I see Medirata, Mitchell Hui, Samuel Cheng, Derek Lee, Lee Long, I should apologize, Mohamed Mazdi Mardini and Nicholas Fener in that battle. They might be at the end of the field, but these drivers are pushing just as hard as the leaders are in order to try and make sure they're not last. And absolutely spectacular stuff there. But it looks like Derek Lee there, he has got a front row seat to the battle between Samuel Cheng and Mitchell Hui. They're still side by side. They're going to go through Stavalo there. It looks like Mitchell Hui is just about able to keep that car ahead of Samuel Cheng there. They live to fight another day going through Blanchimont now up ahead there. The long run up to Blanchimont, of course, this is where the slipstream takes over. And if you're not careful, we saw what happened to Avila Bahar and to quite a lot of drivers over the course of the years racing around the Spa-Francorchamps circuit there. It looks like they've managed to get through nice and safe there, but it looks like further behind the field there, it looks like Derek Lee's going to try and poke the nose up the inside, not quite able to do it. In the meantime, just to report, Daryl Brady and Medirata have gone into the pits. How are we going to see the first of our pit stops?
Yep, so the pit stops are in order. A bit of contact between cars, but of course, with these cars carrying extra fuel, they'll probably have to put less fuel in, so that is a good consideration. Going full throttle, or going hard over Rouge and Radion. That is Thomas. Oh, huge!
That's a huge accident! Oh no, that's Fred Ting. That's Fred Ting. Let's have a look at the replay there. Going up through Eau Rouge and Radion, and it's very, very frightening through here. We've seen these types of incidents before there, and it looks like there was just a coming together, and oh, it's such a dangerous position to have that incident there. And look at that, Fred Ting flipping the car over the exit of Radion. That's gotta hurt.
Hurt big time indeed, and that's an unfortunate end to Fred Ting's run. But unfortunately, we do still have Masdi Mardini representing Brunei still racing. So this is Fred Ting joining the pit party with the other cars on the grid. So Brunei running this team pace scheme that they do have. Very nice to see.
Indeed, national colours really popping out through there. That's Lon Vinghua in 17th position there, driving the BMW now. He's got a lot of cars behind him that he's got to worry about. In fact, the two Hong Kong drivers, Derek Lee and Nicholas Fener, are both behind him right now. Team HKG in action, beautifully pulled up there. But meanwhile, we're going to have a look at the battle at the front of the field, and is really hotting up right now because of lap traffic. And it looks like Mika Hakimi and Pariwat Chukan there. It looks like Pariwat Chukan's managed to get himself up into the lead. We have a change of lead in the race. Pariwat Chukan Toi is in first position, but Mika Hakimi is not going to give up. Surely he's going to try and have a look on the inside, on the outside, every which way there, but Sachai Natakunjon is trying to overtake around the outside there. It looks like Mika Hakimi's in serious trouble there. He's being attacked from ahead, from the side, and from the back there. He's got Yuan Chi Lin also behind as well, but this battle for the lead of the race has just turned supernova right now. Mika Hakimi is behind Pariwat right now. He should get the slipstream, but so will Natakunjon coming up towards the inside there. He's managed to keep the nose of the Porsche coming into the inside there. They touch.
Oh, no.
They touch. Unbelievable. They touch multiple times coming into the braking zone there. And it looks like Mika Hakimi had to go into the escape road. That is dramatic stuff from the lead of the race there. He lost first position. Now he's all the way down into 5th place. This is earth-shattering for the race right now. This is absolutely unbelievable.
Well, there was an unfortunate contact that Mika Hakimi has lost his race lead. He's down to 5th position. It must be devastating for him. Yuan Xili moves up to 2nd position and Aman Nagdev in 3rd. So it is a Thailand, China, India 1, 2, 3 that we have up front. So I think, we certainly would never have expected such an outcome in the race. This race has been full of surprises, very different from from Heat 1. So I think part of it could be because the drivers might have been tired out by the extra long practice session waiting time that they had before the race, and it's kind of resulted in I guess probably drivers being a little more fatigued than usual. Certainly in future events we do seek to do things a little differently to give drivers a better racing experience. So this is Avila Baha fighting up front. In fact, he's in 8th position. He's behind his countryman Rinaldo Ito in 7th. So both of them are fighting behind Van Dog in 6th position. So a great battling, great racing action here. So it is, right now, we're coming back to some battles between Sachin Natakunjan and Mika Hakimi. So don't forget, Mika is one of the fastest sim racers in all of Malaysia. He has what it takes to clamber back his lost positions, and I hope he does so indeed.
Indeed, Mika Hakimi, the fight back starts now. We're at lap 10 right now. 28 minutes have gone in the race. Pariwat Chukan there in 1st position, Ranchi Lin in 2nd, Aman Nagdev in 3rd position. Mika Hakimi, the man we're watching right now, is in 4th place. He's just taken that position from Sachai Natakunjon in 5th, Van Dog in 6th, Avila Bahar in 7th, Rinaldo Ito in 8th, Oliver Akido in 9th position, and Lee Jae-yon in 10th place. But most 40-minute races, we're usually starting to chill out, relax, and have a chat about strategy. Not this race. We're still seeing absolutely spectacular overtaking maneuvers there, and it looks like Derek Lee is going to try for an overtaking maneuver up at the top over Radion, and that's another rollover at Radion there. Derek Lee, they tried to go too wide through Eau Rouge, but too wide doesn't quite fit through there. Unbelievable stuff there, and it looks like can't quite catch who that was behind there that got sent into the Shadow Realm, as they say. But unfortunately, it looks like that's going to be over for them. Darryl Brady, meanwhile, has a nice look at the incident. But wow, that was a pretty spectacular incident there.
Yeah, that was crazy. In fact, El Rouge Radion strike again, as usual. Have a look at some jostling between Mitchell Wee and I think we are in live pictures. Oh, there's a huge pile-up between Dominic Mitchell Wee and I think that is probably a BMW of Samuel Chang. So I think they managed to recover, which is good. We're now back with racing action. This is between Derek Lee and Masti Mardini. Let's see what happens here. What this is going to present for everyone. We are approximately 10 minutes to go in this race. Certainly, you kind of see the outcome of the race. We actually have no idea what's in store for us. So the next minute might see some crazy change again. Maybe, I guess, maybe the battling might get even fiercer up front. And I think the great thing with such events is that you have drivers fighting all throughout the grid. This is Avila Bahar. He's moving into the pits.
And that's another thing. Most of these drivers are not all, if not all the drivers, might have to pit throughout the course of this race. Of course, we had a huge help with the safety car, so some of the guys who are running heavier might have the opportunity to not pit. but some of the guys who are running lighter might have to think about their strategies just a little bit differently as well. Lee Jae-yeon in 9th position. He is right behind Oliver Aquino. He might be close enough, in fact, to try and get a draft out of here. He might be able to close up the gap, perhaps a little bit too far away for an overtaking maneuver there, but as you can see, the aerodynamic effect takes over and the car just gets towed along nicely behind Oliver Aquino. Coming into the braking zone, Lee Jae-yeon has just gotten that much closer. You know something, if I always used to joke about the adrenaline impact midfield battle, but I didn't realize in this race it was going to be at the front of the field.
Mika Hakimi up to 4th position. He has a gap of half a second to close with Aman Nagdev in 3rd, which I'm confident that he will have the ability to do so, to I guess give Nagdev a run for his money. So, you know, these guys are very fast indeed. They're doing very well up front.
Indeed, they have. Mika Hakimi, he wants to get on the podium. He's been leading for so long, and to be dropped down into 5th position, he wants more than anything else to be on the podium. But guess who else also wants to be on the podium just as badly, and that man is Aman Nagdev. This is going to be a battle that's going to wear on throughout these last 8 minutes or so as they go through Eau Rouge there. Oh, very close to each other there. It looks like Mika Hakimi might have an opportunity going through the bus stop chicane if he gets the drive out of Blanchimont just right. And it looks like he might have done. Aman Nagdev is going to try and defend on the inside. But look at that braking from Mika Hakimi. What a maneuver. He managed to outbrake and outdrive that corner from Aman Nagdev. But Aman Nagdev is going to try and fight back going into La Source there, but what a maneuver there from the young Mika Hakimi. Going through that first apex, he manages to keep himself up in position, and that's it. We see Mika Hakimi up into 3rd position. Will he be able to climb up further up the field?
And that was an amazing move indeed, and right now his job is to defend as hard as possible from Aman Nagdev. So if I have the opportunity to open up some driver bios, do give me a sec. Oh, Aman Nagdev is going on a comeback run. So, both drivers going very close side by side down the Camel Straight. Aman Nagdev having a slight straight line advantage. He closes the door on Mika Hakimi and retakes 3rd position. So this is very close indeed.
Indeed, this battle, I believe, is going to go all the way to the end of the race if they manage to keep both cars in one piece. I spoke too soon there. But Aman Nagdev, I almost spoke too soon there. Commentators curse, geez, knock on wood, but Mika Hakimi almost proved me wrong just as I was finishing my sentence. Calm down, guys. But as you were saying there, this battle is going to go on to the end of the race if they keep their cars in one piece, knock on wood. What you were saying about the bios?
Let's just look at the bios a little bit. Of course, Yancy, a very good friend of mine from iRacing China. About Aman Nagdev, he is getting into real-life car racing quite soon, so certainly wish him the best in that. Of course, Mika Hakimi, all of you guys would definitely know over in Malaysia, he is a crazy alien indeed, and he's also very popular here in the Singapore community as well, doing a great job running the race side by side between Mika Hakimi and Aman Nagdev. Oh, this is good racing. Are they going to go flat out? Oh, Nagdev's gone on the brakes and Mika Hakimi is gone. Oh, wow. Using a runoff to defend his position. That is a very much smart move, but is Nagdev going to go for the inside of the chicane? No, that's not the case. Wow, Mika Hakimi retakes his race lead and Nagdev goes into the pits.
I guess the car just couldn't quite take any more of the punishment there, but of course, if Nagdev's going into the pits, I suspect Mika Hakimi is going to have to go in fairly shortly indeed. But right now, we've moved up a couple more positions there. Yuan Lin is still trying to battle quite hard there with Pariwachukan 1st and 2nd positions. Pariwat in the lead there, 0.3 of a second at the top of Radion. In fact, it's 2.2 seconds. Here we go. Another slipstream battle coming down the Camel Straights there. And Pariwat tries to defend, but Yuanxi sends it out to the outside there, hard on the brakes, but the Ferrari just a little bit better on the brakes there, going through Les Combes. But it looks like this battle for the lead is getting racy right now. They're trying to get as close to each other as they can. In fact, they're so close to each other, you could read the serial numbers of the cars on the rear bumpers there. That's how close they are. Going around the Brussels hairpin and into Signal Corner there, down the hill and coming up towards Puon. Yuan Lin still trying hard there, but these guys, they're so close to each other. 3/10 of a second is nothing in racing terms when it comes to battles like this.
Speaking of serial numbers, that number at the rear spoiler, under the rear wing rear spoiler, the rear view of that car, that's actually the group chat ID of the iRacing China community. So if I am not wrong, it is the ID number leads. I can't exactly recall. Yanxi's car. At the underside of the rear spoiler, you can see he's uploaded a photo of himself there. Very nice. I will just flip over my QQ chat very quickly to confirm the number. It is QQ group ID. You just give me a very quick second. This is 99978774. So if you're in China, if you use QQ app, feel free to join us on iRacing China.
Indeed, and he might give us an opportunity to read that number for ourselves. Yuan Lin tries to go for an overtaking maneuver around the outside of Pariwachukan. He tried to do a Mika Kimi there, didn't quite pull off there. You could just about see the number on the rear wing of that car there, but now they're so close. In fact, they're down to less than 3/10 of a second there. Just a bit of a lock up there from Yuan Lin, coming out of the La Source hairpin and coming down towards the old start finish straight, and of course Eau Rouge and Radion. Radion, the name of the hill, Eau Rouge, the stream that runs underneath the racetrack, known as Red Water in English, coming down towards the Kemmel Straight there, formerly a series of high-speed bends, now a straight line where they can really show off their slipstreaming abilities. Coming into the braking zone there, Yuan Lin tries to go around the outside. Will he be able to do it? He keeps it on the outside. He keeps it in the apex there, but it looks like Pariwatui is able to defend from Yuan Lin there. What a drive there from the Thai driver. He manages to keep himself in first position despite the repeated attacks from Yuan Lin. This is absolutely stunning defensive driving from Pariwat Chukan Toi there.
So much credit to UNC also for putting up a great show for all of us battling it out. So of course right now, Pariwat Chukan probably has a lot in his mind. He's trying to defend himself as much as possible from Yanxi. Both very fast drivers. As you know, Yanxi is one of the fastest drivers in China. There are even faster drivers as well. We very much like to see them as well. Then, because it's good to see him racing here. The paint scheme that iRacing China is using kind of reminds me of Captain America's style of styling that UNC has kind of put out. By the way, the paint scheme is designed by UNC himself. It looks like a superhero. Those kind of Power Ranger livery that you would expect from those Megazords by Rider Sonic Mercedes.
Yuan Lin, the next great Marvel superhero, perhaps?
Yeah.
He's definitely giving himself a really good opportunity there when it comes to driving. Now he's trying to get as close to Pariwat, but of course, this track, there's quite a few interesting overtaking opportunities that you can do, but you really have to set it up. It takes about a sector to try and overtake on this track. So now we're coming into the white flag lap. This is the final lap of the race, and these two drivers are close enough that we cannot call who's going to win the race right now. Pariwat Chukan and Yuan Lin there first and second position, with Mika Hakimi in third place, and Sachai Natakun John there in fourth position, with Fandog in fifth and Kevin Huang in sixth place. But let's see if Yuan Lin can try and overtake Pariwat Chukan there. He goes around the outside there. Pariwat's going a little bit slow coming around the outside there. Looks like he didn't quite have the drive there, and it looked like Yuan Lin has taken the lead of the race at the final lap. Coming into sector 2 there. It looks like Pariwat's going to try his hardest to try and get back into position there. You can see how much faster the Ferrari is in these slow to medium speed corners there. Pariwat's going to go around the outside. He's going to go around the outside there. Will he be able to make that move stick? No, he's not able to make that move stick. He's going to try and go around the outside. We're going through signal and coming up towards Puon there. Another possible opportunity to try and overtake there. We're going on board with Pariwachukan right now, coming into the braking zone there. And it's just getting closer and closer and closer, but it might be running out of kilometers in this race. We've only got 4 kilometers to go for this battle. Coming into about 3 kilometers to go there. Pariwas locked up. He's locked up. Could that be the mistake that seals the deal for Yuan Shilin? Coming around the Fanyas chicane and into Stavelo. Hard on the brakes and turning it into the corner there. Now to the curve. Paul Ferrer. And it looks like Pariwat's gone and made another mistake there. He's pushing that Ferrari as hard as humanly possible. But it looks like with 0.6 of a second there, Yuan Xilin has managed to steal the race at the last possible moment.
Absolutely. So, Max, please take this race to the finish.
I was going to hand it to you, but thank you so much there. Pariwachukan there, he's in second place. Yuan Xilin is in first position. The First Nations Cup is going to go to a Mercedes driver. It's going to go to Yuan Xilin. It's going to go to China, and Yuan Xilin wins the first ever annual Nations Cup final with Pariwatoe in second position. Mika Hakimi fights back from an earlier mistake to come home in third position. Sachai Natakunjon in fourth place, and Kevin Huang still trying to battle hard with Samuel Cheng, and Samuel Cheng's not going to make it easy for Kevin Huang. He's going to have to try and drive his heart out, but he manages to take it home in sixth place with Fan Dog there going to be in seventh place.
Oh,
Dominic ran out of fuel. Dominic Ang. Sorry, no, that's Fan Dog. I do apologize. That's Fan Dog. Fan Dog is just about run out of fuel there. He's not going to be able to cross the line, unfortunately. That is going to be heartbreaking. He's managed to come across the line there, but he's lost so many positions that he's managed to lose a position to Dominic Ang, to Samuel Cheng there. Haitam Abdul Kadir in ninth place, and it looks like the African and Middle Eastern driver manages to make it a top 10 for that particular sub-region of this competition, and Lee Jae-yeon comes home in 10th place. We're watching Nicholas Fener come home in 11th. What a race!
Well, what a race indeed. I think, it was action-packed from start to finish. And battles are still ensuing. This is Michelle Hui who's battling with Rinaldi Ito, still going with each other.
And it takes a lot, I know, to render Chan Wei Hun speechless, but when the battle for 16th place has you stumbling, it's been an absolutely fantastic race, hasn't it? Oliver Aquino, last man out on track, he's going to cruise over the line and take it home in 16th place. But wow, I don't think anybody could have predicted what have happened today.
No way. I had no... Gosh, I'm really speechless, running... you know how unpredictable Sim Racers Asia is. This is another kind of unpredictable.
When you have the entirety of Asia, the best drivers from all across Asia competing, it just means you cannot guess what's going to happen next. But Yuan Xilin on our provisional results here. Yuan Xilin has won the race there for China in first position. Pariwatoe Chukantoi there, he is provisionally in second place for Thailand, and Mika Hakimi is in third place for Malaysia. Congratulations to all the podium drivers. China, followed by Thailand, followed by Malaysia. Speaking of Thailand, Sachai Natakunjon is in fourth position. Best of the rest there. Kevin Huang has done Chinese Taipei and Taiwan proud there in fifth position. Samuel Cheng in sixth place for the Macau SAR there. Dominic Ang is in seventh place with Fan Dog, eighth position. Hatam Abdul Kadir there, our Middle East and Africa representative, in ninth position with Lee Jae-yeon in 10th. Further down the field we have Nicholas Fener, Thomas Ferry from the Reunion Islands there. Mitchell Hui is in 13th place with Aman Nagdev in 14th. He tried his hardest there, but unfortunately had to pit just a little bit too late there. Oliver Aquino in 15th, Rinaldi Ado in 16th, Mazdi Martini in 17th, and Derek Lee in 18th.
Looking through the rest of the finishers, of course, Brian Pereira of Sri Lanka in 19th, Avila Baha of Indonesia in 20th, Daryl Brady 21st from Philippines. Of course, Daryl Brady is the founder of Sim Racing Philippines. Long Lay in 22nd from Vietnam, Siddharth Metirata from India 23rd, Fred Ting 24th from Brunei, Eshan Paris 25th from Sri Lanka, Tommy Mai from Vietnam is 16th, Muhammad Zini from Singapore 27th, and Leonardo Oliveira, unfortunate to see him finish there in 28th from Macau. So of course, with the point system, so that is Im Jo Hyuk, unfortunate incident there during the start of the race. He has to come home in 19th. So of course the point system is in place. It is a 2-to-1 ratio of feature race to heat race point system. So you've got the points that the drivers have, the points that they score here. They've also got the points they scored during heat 1. So not all hope is lost for drivers who kind of finish maybe somewhere below the half of the field. I think the whole objective of this race is for everyone to get together and to celebrate what sim racing is all about. Its role in developing esports in Asia, in making motorsports more accessible in Asia, and I think this event has been a success in doing so.
Indeed, and it has been, and it's been wonderful to see the entire Asian sim racing community come together and really pull this off. We had a couple of rough edges at the start there, but it finished with a bang. Who could have predicted 3 months ago, 6 months ago, 9 months ago even, that we'd be watching Yuan Xilin go around and overtake on the final lap in a thrilling slipstream battle to take home the feature race win there. But that has been an absolutely spectacular race, and all that remains for me today is to thank all of the members of the Asian Sim Racing Federation there, who really gave their all throughout the course of the race. Looking at the replay there, Yuan Xilin, he was right there at the sharp end of the field all throughout the race there, but it's almost like a Moto3, MotoGP race. You just have to be there and strike when the opportunity presents itself.
I'm just replying to some text in the race control. We will just resolving some conversations. Protest window is open. Drivers can fill in their protest, and the stewards will review the race.
Indeed, and judging by these last two races, we're going to have a long night ahead for the stewards there, so leave a light on for them and spare a thought for those guys out there volunteering their time and effort in order to make this race a success. Im Jo Hyuk there, this must be the biggest story of the race, him spinning going through the Lekon section there, and unfortunately having to retire after sustaining damage there. He was right at the sharp end of the field there, so it would a real shame that we didn't see his true skill go through the field. But after that, we had a long period under the safety car, under yellow flags, but we managed to get the car racing again. We managed to get the ball rolling again, so to speak, and it's been a spectacular run from there on to the checkered flag. We had Mika Hakimi as leader, we had Pariwat Chukan as the leader, and we had Yuanxi as our eventual feature race winner there. Spectacular stuff indeed.
So certainly an exciting race event. I do apologize, so the drivers are doing the conversation on the Discord channel, so obviously I'm sharing that. I think one of the things that comes with organizing a race event together is that, especially with this event, everything is community sourced, so of course we try our best to deliver the best racing experience as possible. At the same time, also worth noting that we are as much racing fans as we are race organizers, as we are community people, as you guys are. So, certainly this is very much a grassroots thing that we are doing. Of course, we do kind of have goals to make this an even bigger thing towards the future, because very much so this is the start of more big things to happen. We've kind of made a concept event work where we have communities coming together, the leaders of communities coming together, having one another's backs. That was what I really, really appreciated most about everyone. I really enjoyed the presence of everyone, and it's very much I have to thank everyone involved for making this event such a significant one that we all enjoy.
Indeed, it's been absolutely brilliant. A real pleasure to be involved in this event. Speaking for myself there, and hopefully you guys might even allow me back for yet more commentators' curses, yet more stumbling over names, and yet more on-track action. But it's been an absolute honor and a privilege to be here right now, speaking for myself. And of course, really, it's been a brilliant race overall. So much action, so much entertainment, and yeah, we did have a slight delay due to a couple of server issues there, but the team that have volunteered so much of their time to get this ball up and running, they managed to pull it off. It's been an absolutely wonderful, smooth race there all throughout the field. But just looking at the slow motion pictures of Mika Hakimi being harassed by that little red Ferrari behind him, brilliant stuff indeed. But yeah, it's absolutely fantastic watching all these guys there. And it does remain for me to thank everyone that's involved. Again, I'll thank all of the members of the Asian Sim Racing Federation for making this happen, and all the drivers who turned out for the race. We also have to thank our sponsors at Next Level Racing for providing the prizes to our champions for this evening. Do stay tuned to all of our local affiliates, Facebook channels, YouTube channels, and wherever you get your local sim racing news for the total results once we've totted up all the points, and you'll find out who the champion is for the Nation Cups Asia race. But also, special thanks to all the broadcasters who've been busy, hard at work, bringing you all of the action throughout the course of the race. And of course, a special thanks goes out to you guys watching at home. Without you guys' support and sokongan throughout all of this, we really can't do what we do there. So a very special thanks to all of you guys watching at home. But I believe that's going to be it for our broadcast.
Yeah, very much so. So, in fact, again, very big thanks to Next Level Racing for supporting our initiative from the start to the end. We're really supportive of what we're doing here at Asian Sim Racing Federation. So, on behalf of everyone involved in this project, of course, going in no particular order, Ceylon Motorsports Club, which is Sri Lanka's ASN, grateful to have their support with us. This event is presented by Adrenaline Impact, Sim Racers Asia, BB Race TV from Korea, iRacing China, iRacing South Korea, IR Esports from India, Macau China Sim Racing Association, Saigon United Motorsports, and the Sim Racing Association of Singapore. And it is presented by our media partners at EPP, Godspeed, Kart Camp, and the Asia eRacing Central. And it has been such a joy bringing this event to all of you guys, and we certainly hope you've all enjoyed this race event. Thank you to everyone who's also participated in the race event, not just this event but also the qualifiers and all the practice sessions as well. It means so much to us.
Indeed it has. And all that remains for me is to thank our director, Karo Alang, and all the crew at Adrenaline Impact and Vertex Esports for all their help throughout the course of this broadcast. A special thanks goes out to Chan Wei Hearn, who's not only my fellow Oppo, as we say in the UK, my fellow commentator for this evening, but he's helped out a lot behind the scenes there. So give a small round of applause to the long-suffering Chan Wei Hearn, who's been working like hell to get this event up and running there. And of course, a special thanks to all of you guys from me, Max Palmer, Hannah Alan, and Chan Wei Hearn. We'll see you in the next stream.